Presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, says he picked Senator Kashim Shettima as his running mate because he is the man who can help him bring the best governance to all Nigerians, regardless of their religious affiliation. Tinubu made the disclosure Sunday while addressing journalists after meeting President Muhammadu Buhari in Daura, Katsina State. He says, and I quote, "If we truly understand the challenges upon us as a nation, then we must also see the imperative of placing competence in governance above religious sentiment." According to him, Shettima's career in politics and beyond shows that he is eminently qualified not only to deliver that all-important electoral victory, but also step into the shoes of the vice president.
We had a very good period of the season, this time of the year, and to really pay homage to him and then share part of his holiday and lunch, and equally discuss the question of my running mate, substantia. This one of them withdraw today. I mean, the only one that was in place as a replacement withdraw today, and there'll be already an announcement to replace him fully with a substantive,
The substantive one?
Kashim Shettima. I've not discussed with him. I've disclosed it to you. Since I've disclosed it to the president.
So how strong, united and formidable is your party ahead of the next general election?
We are going to win. Inshallah. Inshallah. We are going to win.
Why are you so confident?
Because we are a progressive party. We have the focus on Nigerian problems. We faces the challenge squarely. We are not running away from it. We have a better program for the people and about the people and ready to serve.
Okay, let's discuss these issues further as we're now being joined by Arise analyst Mahmud Jega. Barikade Salah, I will say to you.
Thank you very much.
You out of your celebration and the rest, because there are crucial national issues to interrogate. And how do you see Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the flag bearer of the APC, choosing a former governor of Borno State, Shettima? Do you think Nigerians are being, overzealous or unaccommodating for talking about the Muslim ticket? What are the dangers there, or what are the merits and demerits of this?
Well, first of all, at the personal level, I think it was an excellent choice, because Kashim Shettima, I have reported on his politics in the last 10 to 15 years. He's an agricultural scientist, a former university lecturer, and he was a top banker at Zenith Bank. Then he was a commissioner in 4 different ministries: finance, health, education, and the local government in Borno State. Then he was governor for 2 years at the peak of the Boko Haram problem. So I think he knows about insecurity and refugees and resettlement and rebuilding probably more than most people in Nigeria. And since then, he has been a senator for 3 years and chairman of a Senate committee. He has moderate views. He is non-controversial. He is quite intellectual. He is a bookworm, in fact, with a huge personal library. So at that personal level, I think he is a very good choice. Then you raise the issue of the Muslim ticket, although it was clear, I think, in the last few weeks that already the logic of the choice was tending towards that. And you see, the way it is, there is a problem of cross-political perception in Nigeria over this issue. Many people think that since Tinubu is of the Muslim faith, what is the problem of the people of the far north? They are represented on the APC ticket, so they should allow others from the Christian community to take the ticket. Unfortunately, that's why I said there is cross perception. The people of the far north, the Muslim part, they don't see it like that. You see, the way they see it, they don't think of Tinubu about his religion or anything. They think this is a Yoruba man, essentially, and that we have conceded the presidential ticket to a Yoruba man. And not only that, our region is expected to produce most of the votes that will carry him to the presidency. Therefore, at least our son should be on the ticket as the running mate. This is how they see it. So when you talk about, you know, the Muslim ticket, they essentially think it is a Yoruba plus a northern
What are the merits and demerits here? When you aggregate the views of some Nigerians, maybe from the south and even some parts of the Christian north?
Well, the issue is in politics, whatever you do has an element of risk. But the most important thing for a candidate is to make the calculation of how he will win. Because if you win, then you will now see what you can do to douse tension and other things. Yes.
Well, Mahmud Jega, this is not the first time we're seeing a Muslim ticket. If we cast our mind back to 1993, we saw an MKO Abiola and Babagana Kingibe ticket, which some would say they won that election based on their merit. But 1993 and 2023, the times have really changed. Do you think, you know, for a society such as ours, multi-faith, you know, multicultural, dealing with so much issues as it stands right now, do you think this is a good idea?
Well, at the electoral calculation level, it must have looked to Bola Tinubu as a good idea. Because as I said, if you are a presidential candidate of a party, the most important calculation is how to win. The problem is that APC's largest vote bank is in the northwest and the northeast, both of which are Muslim majority areas. So he doesn't want to do anything that might jeopardize millions of votes coming from those regions, because that's where he relies on to win the election. This is why I said it is an electoral calculation. He knows the risks. He is not a fool. He knows that this could alienate many elements in the Christian community. But there are other things also that Bola Tinubu said over the years, like religion is not a very dicey political factor in the southwest. Therefore, his calculation is that he may still have the southwest and have the northwest and have the northeast, and that will carry him to the presidency despite the risks.
But the risk, you know, worth taking in this situation? When you look at the other political parties and the way they've tried to balance, you know, the issue of religiosity in the elections.
Exactly. Again, this is part of Bola Tinubu's problem, because the people of the northwest and the northeast region, by his calculation, they have an alternative, because they could go to Atiku Abubakar in PDP. That is why it is very important for him.
Or go to Dati Baba Ahmed in Labour.
Or Konkoso in NNPP. So therefore, it is very important for him in terms of electoral calculation not to alienate them. Because without them, where is APC? That's where that's where APC expects to get most of his votes. This is the calculation. I may sit here, you know, as an analyst and say it is not just, it is not justiciable and all that. But if you are a candidate, your main calculation is winning.
About alienation, because we've seen warnings prior to this announcement today. The Christian Association of Nigeria, a couple of days ago, had released a strong worded statement saying it will be suicidal for any party to push for a Muslim ticket. And not just that, we've seen even members of the APC, Daniel Bola, for instance, says it won't be fair for, you know, the Christians to be ignored when it comes to deciding who becomes the next president or vice president.
May not be, but,
so I ask you again, this decision by the APC, would it make or mar the party in the next general election?
No, it could make or it could mar. The issue is, you know, when an organization makes a statement, if you are a practicing politician like Bola Tinubu, very experienced one, what you will say is that, well, you know, the Christian Association of Nigeria has spoken this, but does it really have control over millions of votes? And if, for example, I even choose a Christian running mate. Cannot guarantee to me millions of votes. You know, if you are a practicing politician, this is what you worry about. Don't worry about it looks like this is an organization that represents the Christian community in Nigeria. You know, when it comes to the nitty-gritty, they really control votes. This is what a man like Tinubu will calculate. About fairness, I'm sure he will say, wait, when I win, I will do everything to address that problem. This is how politicians work. I'm not one, but I have covered them for 30 years.
Well, already there's a lacuna is being raised now about Shettima as Tinubu's running mate by a former governor of Borno State to, in fact, the predecessor of Shettima. That's Modu Sharif. Yeah, raising accusing or pointing accusing fingers at Shettima that he's the progenitor of the dreaded Boko Haram.
Actually, when the Boko Haram crisis started, Shettima was a banker, and after that he was a commissioner under Alimadu Sharif. It was actually Alimadu Sharif that was accused for many years, I'm not supporting the accusation, of being behind Boko Haram. Why? Because in 2003, when he contested for election and displaced the sitting governor, the late Malaka Challa, he had this group of political thugs called ECOMOG. And the people were saying that it was that group that transmuted into Boko Haram. That was the accusation, which he faced throughout his tenure and had to fight it, sometimes in court, in the media and all that. This is the first time, honestly, I'm hearing the accusation that Kashim Shettima, because when he became governor in 2011, the Boko Haram crisis was already at its peak. I don't think it's a...
Well, Mahmud Jega, I wish we could spend more time with you and having more of these conversations. Well, we have to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. But of course, we'll wait and see how this decision will really either help or the opposite, the APC.
Well, all right. Thanks very much for coming on.